Greetings and welcome to the Dr. J Vlog series. It's Tuesday, April 29th, 2025, and on Tuesdays, we look into music and the arts. And so today we're going to be doing an analysis video of a particular performance of a song that I quite liked from an album that I absolutely loved. And then I grew to appreciate the song more and more over time. So the particular performance we're going to be looking at is a live version of the song, not with the original group, but with the original singer, the writer of this song, the composer, and she's going to be accompanied by a small string arrangement as well, a cello and a couple of violins. So let's just jump right into this, and we'll talk more about it in just a moment.
The man in 119 takes his tea all alone. Mornings we all rise to wireless Verdi Cries. I'm hearing opera through the door. Songs of man and women in passion low. Voices climb and fall, battle trumpets call. I feel the bathroom climb inside, singing. La, 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 la.
Okay, I'm going to jump in here as we have to do a couple of times for copyright issues and so forth. I'll leave the link below so you can listen to the song uninterrupted. So as you can see there, maybe in the upper left corner, this is by Natalie Merchant, and she was the lead singer for a number of years for 10,000 Maniacs. And the song is titled Verdi Cries, and it comes from their 1987 release, In My Tribe. So that was the album that a friend recommended. I bought the CD, and it was just one of those almost life-changing moments when we listen to music. I remember distinctively putting that CD on and then listening to the entire CD nonstop. I was immersed in the music. I fell in love with that particular album. This specific song, Verdi Cries, I liked it a great deal as well. But there were a couple of other songs on the album at that time that absolutely blew me away. And so this is one that I grew to like more and more over time. And now this has become perhaps my favorite song on the entire album, as I'll explain in a moment. But this is Natalie Merchant. I just have always been mesmerized by her voice and her phrasing. It's such a gentle voice, not a lot of tremolo and that sort of thing in the voice, but just the purity and the clarity of the sound that she creates with her musical instrument, her voice. And of course, she's playing piano too, very gently and very much in alignment with her singing. So it's very clear that she's trying to meld her singing with not just the rhythm, but also the melody that she's playing on the pianos, so that they complement one another. And you just hear ever so subtle, light background strings, the cello and the one violin comes in, and then eventually two violins. So it's creating a mood to tell this particular story. And it's a story song. It's a song about, somebody listening to somebody else in the morning, a man in 119, down the hall and so forth, and who sings opera. And it's a really kind of powerful expression. I can't tell whether the person listening is thrilled by this, maybe even a little bit annoyed by it, because this is what she hears every single day. But it moves her in some way too. And she's quite young. And I was quite young when I heard this song. So it didn't really resonate quite as much with me or the same way that it does now. But she goes on to, she sings about the souls of men and women impassioned all. Their voices climb and fall, battle trumpets call. I fill the bath and climb inside singing. And then she sings her la la las. But it's really creating a mood, right? A set of images of an experience. And let's get back into it.
He will not touch their pastry, but every day they bring him more gold from the breakfast tray. I steal them all away and then go eat them on the shore. I draw a jackal-headed woman in the sand, sing of a lover's fate, sealed by jealous hate, and wash my hand in the sea. With just 3 days more, I'd have just about learned the entire score to Aida. Oh, holidays must end, as you know. All is memory, taken home with me. The old love, the stolen tea, the sand drawing, and the virgin sea. Oh, years ago. La, 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 la.
Okay, I'm going to jump in again, just again to avoid hopefully the copyright issues and so forth. So she's completed the lyrically the song. There's an outro that we'll get back to in just a moment, but the song is open to a number of different interpretations. Natalie Merchant herself talked about how this song was inspired by a vacation that she'd taken when she was young, and some of what happened or some of what transpired on that vacation. And so you're hearing from the perspective of a young Natalie Merchant, or the singer in the song, the autobiography of the person who's speaking. And she's talking about her experiences of listening to the opera that's being sung next door. And it's pretty powerful. And she's trying to make sense out of it all. But it really moves her on a number of different levels. So this whole notion of Verdi Cries, again, is it about the opera and the power of the opera itself? Is it about the power of the memories that person singing is holding on to, this person in advanced years and looking back on their life? Is it the power of the young person herself who's remembering this experience and recounting what happened on that particular vacation, that particular holiday, and how art sort of inspires life and life reflects art, in this mutually symbiotic relationship almost. So she talks about how she, takes the breakfast from the tray and goes and eats them by the shore. And she draws this jackal-headed woman in the sand. She talked about that being herself in an interview. And singing of a lover's fate sealed by jealous hate, and then wash my hand in the sea. And then she says, well, with just 3 days more, I'd have just about learned the entire score of Aida. But holidays must end. And when she's singing that holidays must end, that's honestly one of the most beautiful, not just the lines, but the way she sings that particular phrase It's so beautiful that it almost brings me to tears, even all these years later. I want to go back to that. It's just incredibly powerful because it encapsulates so much of the feeling and the imagery of the song, just the way she sings that. And I find that this is something that moves me about some of the great songs that I listen to, or the great performances. It can literally just be a couple of words or a particular phrase, and just the way the artist is able to articulate that and then bring that through the melody, bring the emotion forward. So let me see if I can go back and recapture that. See what you think about this, okay?
Days must end.
Just missed it, just a sec.
Till I come, oh, holidays must end, as you know.
So she's saying, oh, holidays must end, as you know. And then she softens it up after that phrase. So that's the phrase that just gets me every single time. Holidays must end, as you know. All is memory taken home with me. So she has her own memories of the experience. She, like the older person next door who's now sort of at the end of their lifespan, is also creating and forming and forging her own memories and experiences and emotions and wrapping that all together and taking that home with her. That becomes a chapter, an important chapter in her own life. The opera, the stolen tea, the sand drawing, the verging sea, all those years ago. So there's a certain parallel, if you will, that we're seeing unwind there. Okay, let me just rewind it one more time and we can go back and go through this to the end.
Sealed by jealous hate and wash my hand in the sea. With just 3 days more, I'd have just about learned the entire score. Till I come, oh, holidays must end, as you know. All is memory taken home with me. The open love, the stolen tea, the sand drawing, and the virgin sea. Oh, years ago. La, 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 la,
Okay, there we have it. Yeah, so I just find that to be such a compelling performance, like I said, of a song that I didn't quite appreciate as much at the time. I liked it, but in the decades, quite literally since then, I've come to appreciate it that much more. So another thing to note, I mean, as she's playing the song and as it's unfolding before us and we're listening, of course, we're caught up in the story. We're caught up in the lyrics. We are, again, blown away maybe by the quality of her voice and her phrasings. And then I love the string accompaniment, which just accents and amplifies musically precisely the kind of emotion and the messaging of the song as a whole. But there's one other thing that I noticed too when I listened to this song, and it's the way in which it sort of stops and starts. And so there are these pauses throughout the song. And when you're performing live, right, you have a little bit more latitude and leeway to decide how long you want to hold a note or how long you want the spacing to be between the phrasings. But I just love the way she executes these pauses in this particular performance. And she's asking you, she's compelling you as the listener to slow down, stop, think, listen, and absorb what's happening before she goes on to the next part of the story. So it's not rushed, obviously, in any way, shape, or form. But not only is it not rushed, it almost forces you to immerse yourself that much more into the drama that's unfolding. And I mean drama in the broadest sense, not in, oh, but this is a dramatic story and, full of life and death and betrayal and so forth. There are some hints at some of that, but it's more about the encapsulation of life experiences and how each of these individuals, in their own ways, remains hostage to some degree to their own understanding, their own life experiences, and their own memories. And what else does any of us have at some point down the road, beyond the material goods, beyond the specifics of where we're living and what we have, what we own, what belongs to us, and those sort of things? We're all, in some senses, prisoners in our own minds, where we're capturing and reliving the experiences that we've had, the remembrances that are, in fact, the story, and in each of our cases, the unique stories of our lives. And so this is a bittersweet way, then, of conveying that kind of universal truth of the human experience. And again, you can take from the song and from the lyrics much more, whatever resonates. But for me, as I say, this song now that I'm in my 60s, maybe I'm the person, taking the, that's listening to the opera all day long. So I'm the old man down the hall, so to speak, as opposed to the young Natalie Merchant there. But again, she's such a, again, there's much more we could say about Natalie Merchant. Her solo career, I think she went on to write and perform or compose a number of truly powerful and meaningful songs. And from, if you will, from, if you think about the yin and the yang, from the more yin perspective and from a female perspective, and her album, if you haven't listened to it, or, you should really get a copy of Tiger Lily, for example. But she's got a number of songs that she released that I equate with, or I think are on a par with this particular song, Verdi Cries. Different themes, different meanings, and so forth. But again, incredibly powerful compositions from just a beautiful soul in Natalie Merchant. Again, as a person, as a human being, from what I know about her and her background and how she's lived her life. Again, I won't go into all of that right now. But I love her voice. I love her music and her compositions. And yeah, she's one of my all-time favorites. So check her out if you haven't heard her before, Natalie Merchant. And again, this is Verdi Cries from the 1987 album she did when she was the lead singer of 10,000 Maniacs, called In My Tribe. I'll leave the links below. And as ever, may you and yours continue to create peace in your lives, nurture love in your hearts, and dole out hugs in abundance. And we'll see you soon.